In the summer of 2012 in Eagle Point, Oregon, a man named Gary Harrington was sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined over $1,500. He had not stolen anything. He had not hurt anyone. He had not trespassed, defrauded, or destroyed a single piece of property. He collected rainwater on his own land. In 3 small reservoirs he built himself. The state of Oregon charged him under a 1925 water law that said all water, including the rain that falls from the sky onto your own roof, belongs to the public. He went to jail for catching what fell on his own ground. That is not a story from 1850, friend. That is 2012. If you clicked on this video, you already know that collecting rainwater is restricted, regulated, or outright illegal in parts of this country right now. What you probably do not know is that your grandparents did it every single day. They caught it, stored it, filtered it, and drank it. They used it to water gardens, wash clothes, bathe children, and keep livestock alive through droughts that would have emptied a modern subdivision in a week. And not one of them asked a county for permission, paid a water district for a meter, or filed a permit with a state agency. They just looked up, held out a bucket, and kept their family alive. Here is the twist. Not one of these 25 methods has stopped working. Not one. The rain still falls. The ground still holds it. The roof still catches it. The barrel still stores it. What changed is not the rain. What changed is who claims to own it. Now, number 8 on this list is restricted or regulated in 14 states as of this year. Number 3. Most Americans have never even heard of, and it works without a roof, without a barrel, and without a single piece of hardware. And number 1. Friend, number 1 is the one they wrote the most laws against. And I am not touching it until we are most of the way down. I am Silas Mercer, 7th generation on this ridge. The Mercers have held this stretch of Appalachian Mountain since the 1790s, and I have not left it. My grandfather Eli raised me after my daddy died in the timber. And before he went, he made me copy every last thing he knew into a leather journal. This is me keeping that promise. Before we get into the water, pull the trigger on subscribe, not for me. Because the buried skills we drag back into daylight around here, you are going to want the next one. We are going all 25, top to bottom, the ones they regulated, the ones that still work, the ones your grandmother did not need a permit to do on her own land. Number 25, the porch roof drip line. Your grandmother did not need a gutter system. She watched where the rain dripped off the edge of her porch roof, and set a row of clay pots, buckets, or wash tubs directly under the drip line. In one hard afternoon rain, she caught 30 to 50 gallons without a single pipe, bracket, or downspout. A modern gutter installation runs $1,000 to $2,500. Your grandmother's drip line collection ran her the cost of walking outside and setting down a bucket. Number 24. The barrel and downspout. Your grandfather cut a hole in a wooden barrel lid, ran the downspout from the roof gutter into the hole, and covered it with a piece of window screen to keep leaves and mosquitoes out. That barrel held 55 gallons. A moderate rain on a 1,000 square foot roof produces roughly 600 gallons of water. 1 barrel is a start. 4 barrels is a system. A modern rain barrel with a spigot, overflow valve, and mesh screen runs $80 to $150. Your grandfather's oak barrel cost him a trip to the cooperage, and it lasted 30 years. Number 23. The canvas tarp catch. Your great-grandfather stretched a canvas tarp between 4 trees or 4 poles, tied the corners at a slight angle so the water flowed to the low point, and set a bucket underneath. In open country with no roof, this was the fastest way to collect clean rainwater. The tarp kept leaf debris and bird droppings out. The angle kept the water moving, so it did not pool and breed mosquitoes. A modern portable rain collection system with a food-grade liner and a collapsible frame runs $120 to $200. Your great-grandfather's canvas tarp and 4 sticks cost him nothing he did not already own. Number 22. Washing clothes in rainwater. Your grandmother saved her softest rainwater specifically for laundry. Rainwater is naturally soft. It contains no calcium, no magnesium, no chlorine, and no dissolved minerals. Soap lathers in rainwater 3 times, as well as it does in hard well water or treated municipal water. She used half the soap and got cleaner clothes. The water softener industry is a $3.5 billion market in the United States. Your grandmother's rain barrel made it unnecessary. Number 21. Rainwater for livestock. Your great-grandfather channeled roof runoff into a stone trough in the barnyard. The horses, the cows, the goats, and the chickens drank rainwater year-round. He did not pipe municipal water to the barn. He did not drill a separate well. He caught what fell on the barn roof and ran it to the trough. The animals drank better water than most city taps produce today because rainwater carries none of the treatment chemicals that municipal water does. A livestock waterer connected to a pressurized water line runs $200 to $500 plus the plumbing. Your great-grandfather's roof-to-trough system cost him a length of wood gutter and a stone trough he built once. Number 20. The first flush diverter. Your grandmother knew that the first few minutes of rain washing over a roof carry the most dirt, dust, pollen, bird droppings, and leaf debris. So she diverted the first flush away from her collection barrel. She did this by setting the barrel to one side and only moving the downspout over the barrel opening after the first 5 minutes of rain had washed the roof clean. Simple as that. No valve, no timer, no plumbing. She stood on the porch, watched the color of the runoff, and when it ran clear, she redirected. A modern first flush diverter device with a ball valve and a debris chamber runs $25 to $60. Your grandmother's hand and eye cost her nothing, and she never miscalibrated. Number 19. Watering the garden from rain barrels with gravity. Your grandmother set her rain barrel on a platform of stacked stones or a wooden stand, 2 to 3 feet off the ground. She attached a wooden spigot at the base. Gravity pushed the water through a length of hollowed reed or a short piece of pipe and into a ditch that ran between her garden rows. She opened the spigot in the evening and let gravity do the irrigating while she cooked supper. No pump, no electricity, no timer, no drip tape, no pressurized line. Gravity and height. A modern drip irrigation system with a pump, timer, and filter runs $150 to $400. Your grandmother's elevated barrel and gravity ditch ran free. Number 18. The clay pot filter. Your grandmother poured collected rainwater through an unglazed clay pot. The porous walls of the pot acted as a natural filter, trapping sediment and many contaminants while allowing clean water to seep through and drip into a collection vessel below. Unglazed terracotta is a natural microfilter. The pore size in quality terracotta traps particles down to 1 to 2 microns. Bacteria are typically 1 to 10 microns. The World Health Organization has tested and endorsed clay pot filtration as an effective point-of-use water treatment method in developing communities worldwide. Your grandmother did not need the endorsement. She needed clean water. The clay pot gave it to her. A modern ceramic water filter element for a gravity system runs $30 to $60 and needs replacing every 6 to 12 months. Your grandmother's clay pot lasted years and cost her a visit to the local potter. Number 17. Storing rainwater in a wooden cistern. Your grandfather built a large wooden tank from cypress or cedar planks, banded with iron hoops and sealed with pine pitch or beeswax on the inside seams. He set it under the eave of the house and piped roof runoff directly in. That cistern held 200 to 500 gallons. Cedar and cypress are naturally rot-resistant and antimicrobial. The wood did not leach chemicals into the water the way modern plastic tanks sometimes do. A modern polyethylene water storage tank, rated for potable use, runs $200 to $800 depending on size. Your grandfather's cypress cistern cost him lumber, a few days of coopering, and it lasted a generation. Number 16. The sand and charcoal rain filter. Your grandmother built a filter column from a wooden barrel with a hole drilled in the bottom. She layered it from bottom to top with clean gravel, then coarse sand, then crushed hardwood charcoal, then fine sand, then a cloth cover on top. She poured collected rainwater in the top and caught what dripped out the bottom. The gravel caught large debris. The sand caught fine particles. The charcoal absorbed dissolved chemicals, tannins, and organic compounds. The output was clear, clean water that tasted like nothing, which is what clean water is supposed to taste like. A modern activated carbon water filter pitcher runs $25 to $40, and the replacement filters cost $8 every 2 months forever. Your grandmother's barrel filter cost her free sand, free charcoal from last night's fire, and free gravel from the creek. Number 15. The underground stone cistern. Your great-grandfather dug a pit 6 to 8 feet deep, lined it with stacked stone mortared with lime or clay, sealed the interior with a plaster of lime and sand, and covered the top with a stone slab or a wooden lid. He piped roof runoff through a channel into the cistern. Underground, the water stayed cool year-round, typically between 50 and 60 degrees. No algae growth because no light reached it. No evaporation because it was sealed. No freezing because it was below the frost line. That cistern held 500 to 2,000 gallons depending on size, and it supplied drinking, cooking, and washing water through the driest summers. Underground cisterns have been documented in the American South and Southwest since the early 1700s. The engineering is Roman. Your great-grandfather used it on his homestead, and nobody sent him a permit application. Pattern break, friend. Everything so far, most homesteaders have seen at least a version of. But we are about to cross into the ones that will make a water district manager uncomfortable. The ones your grandmother did every week, that a modern county code does not want you to repeat. And the one I am holding for last is the one they wrote the most paper against. Number 14. Dew collection with cloth. Your great-grandmother stretched a clean linen cloth or a wool blanket over low bushes or across a frame of sticks in the evening. By dawn, the dew had condensed on the fabric. She wrung the cloth into a pot and collected a pint to a quart of water without a single drop of rain falling. In arid country where rain was rare, dew was the daily water source. She did not need a well. She did not need a stream. She needed a cloth and a cool night. A modern dew collection panel with a hydrophilic coating and a drip channel runs $50 to $100. Your great-grandmother's linen cloth cost her nothing, and it doubled as a dish towel by noon. Number 13. The rock face channel. Your great-grandfather found a sloped rock face on his property, a granite slab, a sandstone shelf, a limestone outcrop, and chiseled a shallow groove along the base, where rain naturally sheeted off the surface. He directed the groove into a clay-lined catch basin. One good thunderstorm across a 20-foot rock face produced 50 to 100 gallons of water, cleaner than anything off a shingled roof, because rock carries no tar, no shingle grit, and no roofing chemicals. He caught water off the land itself. No roof needed. No structure needed, just the shape of the ground and a groove to guide it. Number 12. Grey water to the garden. Your grandmother ran a pipe from the kitchen wash basin and the laundry tub out through the wall and directly into the vegetable garden. Every gallon of water she used to wash dishes or scrub clothes got a second life watering tomatoes, beans, and squash. She used lye soap, which breaks down in soil. She never used bleach in the wash water she sent to the garden. That pipe cut her water usage nearly in half. In most American counties today, grey water discharge requires a permit, an engineered distribution system, and in some jurisdictions, a licensed plumber to install. Your grandmother's pipe through the wall cost her 20 minutes and a hole. Number 11. The Rain Garden Swale. Your grandfather dug a shallow, curved trench along the contour of the slope below his house. He filled the bottom with gravel, covered it with soil, and planted it with deep-rooted native grasses and wildflowers. When it rained, the runoff from the yard and the roof flowed into the swale and soaked slowly into the ground, instead of running off the property. The swale recharged the groundwater, prevented erosion, and kept the moisture in his soil through dry spells. A modern stormwater management system, engineered to the county's specifications, runs $2,000 to $8,000. Your grandfather's swale cost him a day with a shovel and a handful of seeds. Number 10. Bathing in rainwater. Your grandmother filled a copper or tin tub with rainwater warmed by the sun in a dark painted barrel or heated on the stove. Rainwater is soft. It rinses soap out of hair and off skin more completely than hard well water. It leaves no mineral residue, no chlorine smell, no dry skin. She bathed her children in it. She washed her own hair in it, and she considered it superior to the well water for that purpose. The beauty industry sells you a $40 showerhead filter to remove the chlorine and minerals from your tap water. Your grandmother skipped the filter and the tap and used the rain. Number 9. Rainwater as the primary kitchen water. Your grandmother cooked with rainwater. She boiled it first for drinking and cooking, but the base water came off the roof, through the filter barrel, and into her kitchen crock. Her beans tasted better because soft water does not toughen bean skins the way hard water does. Her tea brewed cleaner because no mineral content interfered with the flavor. Her bread rose higher because soft water activates yeast more efficiently. She was not being frugal, she was being precise. The water mattered, and she chose the best water available, which fell free from the sky. Number 8. Connecting multiple barrels in series. Your grandfather connected 2, 3, 4 or more barrels with short lengths of pipe at the base, each barrel slightly lower than the one before it. When the first barrel filled, the overflow ran into the second. When the second filled, it ran into the third. He turned one downspout into a 200-gallon storage system for the cost of 3 barrels and a few pipe fittings. In Colorado, this was effectively illegal until 2016, when the state finally allowed residents to collect rainwater in up to 2 barrels with a combined capacity of 110 gallons. Your grandfather ran 4 barrels in 1940, and nobody told him he needed a legislature's permission to catch what fell on his own roof. Number 7. The spring-fed rain cistern hybrid. Your great-grandfather positioned his underground cistern near a natural seep or spring on his property and built a channel that fed both roof runoff and spring flow into the same tank. In wet months, the roof filled it. In dry months, the spring kept it topped off. He had redundancy, 2 sources feeding one system. If the rain stopped, the spring ran. If the spring slowed, the rain caught the difference. A modern dual-source water system with a pump, a pressure tank, and a switch valve runs $1,500 to $4,000 installed. Your great-grandfather's dug channel and stone cistern ran free. Number 6. The roof wash for medicinal herb gardens. Your grandmother caught the first clean flush of rainwater after the roof washed and directed it specifically to her herb garden. Rainwater carries dissolved nitrogen from the atmosphere, a natural fertilizer that well water and municipal water do not contain. Her medicinal herbs, her kitchen herbs, her tea plants, They grew faster and more potently in rainwater-fed soil. She knew which plants wanted rain and which wanted well water, and she gave each one what it asked for. Number 5. Freezing rainwater for summer cooling. In cold climates, your great-grandmother filled wooden troughs and clay vessels with rainwater in late autumn and let them freeze solid through the winter. She stacked the frozen blocks in a sawdust-insulated ice house dug into the north side of a hill. Those blocks lasted through July. She used them to cool the spring house, to chill stored butter and cream, and to keep the root cellar temperature steady through the hottest weeks. No electricity, no compressor, no freon. Rain froze in November and kept her food cold in August. A chest freezer runs $300 to $600 plus electricity every month for the life of the unit. Her ice house cost her a hole, some sawdust, and winter. Number 4. Sealing a pond with clay to hold rainwater year-round. Your great-grandfather found a low spot on his property where rainwater naturally pooled after storms. He dug it deeper, wider, and lined the bottom and sides with a thick layer of clay he hauled from the creek bank, packed and tamped until it was watertight. That clay-lined pond held water year-round. It watered his livestock, irrigated his garden, and served as an emergency water source during drought. A modern pond liner made of reinforced polyethylene runs 50 cents to $1 per square foot, plus installation. A 1,000 square foot pond liner runs $500 to $1,000. Your great-grandfather's clay lining cost him labor and a creek bank. Number 3. Fog and mist netting. In the coastal mountains and the Appalachian hollows where morning fog rolled thick, your great-grandmother stretched a fine mesh cloth or a coarse wool blanket between two poles on the ridgeline. The fog condensed on the fibers and dripped into a trough at the bottom. No rain required, no roof, no barrel. She harvested water directly from the air. In one foggy morning she could collect 2 to 5 gallons. The Atacama Desert communities in Chile use industrial fog nets today that produce thousands of gallons per day using the exact same principle your great-grandmother used with a wool blanket and 2 sticks. Number 2. The year-round rainwater household. Your grandmother did not use rainwater as a supplement. She used it as the system. Every drop of water her family consumed, drank, cooked with, bathed in, washed with, and irrigated with came from the sky. She had a collection roof, a first flush diverter, a filter barrel, a storage cistern, and a gravity-fed distribution line to the kitchen and the wash house. No well, no municipal connection, no monthly water bill. The entire household ran on rain. In several western states, running a household entirely on collected rainwater without a connection to municipal water requires a specific permit, an engineered system signed by a licensed professional, and in some cases, periodic water quality testing submitted to the county. Your grandmother submitted nothing. She drank clean water every day of her life, and the county never knew and never needed to. And number 1, friend, the one I have been holding since the beginning, the one they wrote the most laws against, the one that keeps water district managers up at night, not because it is dangerous, because it is free. Number 1. Owning your own water. Not a trick, not a technique, the whole philosophy. Your grandparents did not think of water as a service. They thought of it as a right. It fell from the sky onto land they owned, and they caught it, cleaned it, stored it, and used it without asking anyone for permission. They did not pay a monthly bill for it. They did not apply for a meter. They did not file for a permit. They did not submit to testing. They did not connect to a pipe that someone else controlled. They owned their water the way they owned the air they breathed. It fell. They caught it. They lived. That is what the water districts are built on you forgetting. Not any one technique, the whole posture, The understanding that the water falling on your roof is yours, that the rain collecting in your swale is yours, that the dew condensing on your cloth at dawn is yours. Because a family that owns its own water cannot be billed for it, cannot be metered for it, cannot be shut off from it, cannot be made to depend on a system that someone else controls. And that, friend, is not survivalism. That is not off-grid extremism. I am not selling you fear, and I am not telling you to disconnect from the world. I am telling you that your grandparents had a relationship with water that the current system does not want you to remember, because a family that remembers cannot be charged as much. That is all. Now, some of what I walked through today, the law looks at differently depending on your state and your county. Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Oregon, and several others have specific statutes on rainwater collection. Most of them have loosened in the last decade, but check your own before you build. I told you where the line sits on each one. Do not try to do all 25 this weekend. Pick one, just one. This Saturday, set a bucket under the drip line of your porch roof. That is number 25, that is 5 minutes and a bucket. Or stretch a tarp between 2 trees before the next rain and catch a gallon in a pot. That is number 23. That is 10 minutes and a rope. 1 bucket, 1 rain. 1 weekend. And the water you catch in it is the first gallon you have ever owned without a bill attached. Tell me down below, did your grandparents catch rainwater? Did they have a cistern, a barrel, or a spring house? Did they drink it straight off the roof, or did they filter it first? Different regions caught water different ways, and the one that gets the most replies is the one I go deep on next. Your grandmother ran a whole household on the rain that fell on her own roof. No bill, no meter, no permission. Now those 25 tricks are yours again. Do not let them die on your watch. Next time on this channel, I am going to walk you through the 1-cent soap trick your great-grandmother ran from a barrel of wood ash and a pot of kitchen grease that put an entire aisle of the grocery store out of business in her county, and the year the soap companies made sure your mother never learned it. Tap subscribe if you have not. There are 300 more of these buried in Eli's journal, and I mean to pull every last one of them back into daylight before I am done. Keep the old ways. They kept us.